Script and pronunciation. Writing. The language is written from left to right. The material usually used for writing on is bamboo one which, because of its cylindrical form, it's easier to write by cutting the letters along its length. Writing is always done from bottom to the top. To read, the piece of bamboo can be held horizontally. The alphabet. The alphabet is called Sia. The signs which on their own represent a sound are called surat na 10 the 19 writing signs of Inani Surat, large writing. Those signs which are only read in association with them are by contrast called Anak ni Surat, small writing. Ops. In many territories is used instead of ta and instead of wa. CF diary A. All the letters just given with the exception of the last two E and U are pronounced by the vowel A, e.g. rapa. To remove the vowel or to replace it with another, the anak ni surat are used, among which is the sign indicating as a closer and the pangurat tree. Anak ni surat. Haluain is placed immediately after the letter and on the same line. Ripi and even in a closed syllable as the open sound of E. Ski, E in ski, E in feet. Tistis, semi-pronoun tistis. Habaruan or habarutan furnishes the consonant with the vowel U, which, even in a closed syllable, has the open sound of U in boot or O in sus. U. Tustus, semi-pronoun tustus. The placing of the sign is as follows. Siala or Sihora is placed after the consonant and on the same line, bo, and furnishes it with vowel O, which can be pronounced as an open vowel, like the O in French mot, or close, like the O in French home, like O in French home. C6. Hata Dingan is placed to the left of the Hata Dingan is placed to the left of the letter and parallel to the topmost stroke B, and furnishes the consonant with the vowel EA, which can be pronounced as an open vowel as in French été, or closed as in French belle. C5. Pangolat is placed after the consonant and on the same line and deprives the consonant of its A. C2, e.g. rap. The Pangolat is not used except out of ignorance, as the devoler of ang see the next line. Hamizagan or Pamingel is the sign representing final ang. The position of this sign is the same as that of the Hataningan, but to the right of the letter bang. When the consonant has an E or an O, it is usual for the sign to be written above the vowel, e.g. bing, bong. In a closed syllable, each vowel sign is placed with the closing consonant, and if the vowel is placed alongside with the letter, it precedes the devoweler. Pangolat, e.g. tup, tip, top. The position of A in relation to its consonant is optional, but it can be written or pronunciation of the A. The vowel E and U have already been dealt with in 3, and nothing further need be said about them. With regard to A, in addition to what has been said in 2 in respect of nga, the following should be noted. 1. That in closed syllable it is pronounced as A in French pate. That in a final accent and that in a final and accented syllable close with N or M, it loses so much with its clearness that it sounds like O in the closed syllable, almost like the O in equally, and is often confused with it, hence Leon as well as Leon. Pronunciation of the A. A sounds like the A in French belle in, a closed syllable igi serbing. A closed syllable, an open syllable with the one following is closed and does not have an U, igi teyas, eseng, etet, then that, or when it is open and has an O or an A, igi eto, mena. As an open final as an unaccented syllable, igi tole. The case mentioned in 17v and B. It sounds like A in French, ete in an open syllable, an open final accented syllable, egi mare. An open syllable when the one following has an U, begu, hesut. An open syllable when in accordance with one, the following has a, ege, bere, bege. Pronunciation of the O. O sounds like O in French, home, in. Every colored syllable where 3 and 4 do not apply, igi dog, dong, bot, dog. An open syllable where the one following has an O or an A, igi, the hood, tole. An open syllable when the one following has as closer or beginner, igi, torang, tonga, rongan, hodang. It sounds like O in French, mot in. 1. Every open syllable where 1, 2, and 3 do not apply, igi, goga, bogat, hoda, bodat, togu, bolon, logan, bosik, hobal, tabo, dobo. In the final syllable closed with L or N, it sounds almost like U in sun, dal, igi, bolon, hobol, except when the syllable begins with R or igi, toron, tongon, dangol. It sounds like an A in the prefixes tor, por, mor, igi, mor, hoda, mar, hoda. When the prefixes occur before a stem word beginning with a vowel, the CL is omitted in writing, igi, tarida, tuida. This pronunciation of these prefixes is usual only in Sub-Toba and Mandarin. In Toba, the pronunciation is more hoda. The spelling togida even occurs, though this is rare. When mor, tog, por are not prefixes, they are pronounced in the usual way, egi, mogu, porlak, turluk, but dog, the prefix tar, and the stem word dog. When the word is trisyllabic but is not debriefed by means of one of these prefixes, the pronunciation can be as an O or an SA or as an A or as an A, except igi, mortiha and martiha, portibi and partibi. In such cases, the pronunciation of O is preferable in order to show that the word is not a derivative. And B. Henceforth, the sign indicating the way the vowels are pronounced will be omitted and will be used exclusively to show the accent on the final syllable. The relationship of the consonants to each other. Option 1. The consonants in the first two columns are surat. Those in the remainder are fleet. Cf. Ops 9 note below. The S is not included among the solid consonants because the sibilant, though more solid than the consonants that are tablet, is related to the letter group by its susurrus. Cf. Ops 9 and 39 and 3011. The semi-vowels come in the fleet group because H, W, and J can charge with each other 2, 22, 2, 2, and the observes and the obs. The solid consonants are either H or blunt, according to the force with which they are pronounced. The blunt consonants never occur as closures. Cf. Ops 7. The B is occasionally written as a closer when the syllable containing it begins with B, e.g. above, as well as above. Ops 2. DS. Which appears from 11 must be put in the H consonant group. It is a dental. In form, it is the same as the Indian dental is, but without the downstroke of the right CF. The C does not occur in sub-Toba and Toba. See also Mandarin A. The blood sibilant Z does not exist in any Batak dialect, though it is found in Malagasy, which is closely related to Toba. It would be to the S as the G to the K, as the G to the K, and D to the T, and the B to the P, etc. Ops 3. The consonants in whose reproduction the same organ of speech is used are termed homorganic. P, B, M, and W are homorganic. Ops 4. The consonants in the first three columns are not homorganic but homotopic because they have a corresponding relationship to the homorganic patterns. K is to G and Ng as Ch is to J and Y as T is to D and N as P is to B and M. The semi-vowel too, because of a corresponding relationship to the homorganic partners are homotopic. Y to Y, J and Ch as W is to M, B and P. C S to Z as K is to G, etc. is therefore a homotopic of the consonants occurring in the same column. Ops 5. The nasal sounds are not only homotopic but also be regarded as being at the same time homorganic because they are all sounded through the nose. For the consequence of this double relationship, see 33. Ops 6. The term foods and liquid cannot be applied to R and L because they cannot form a syllable with a preceding consonant, even though the letter be edged and solid. Syllables such as, for example, tra and la are not possible and must become tora and tola, cf dari a to a. In view of 25, R and L are aptly called trillers. The R must be regarded as a guttural consonant, not only because some tribes pronounce it hard, like the Arabic Gain, but also because it is frequently found with A, which is a guttural vowel, 17.5a, and creates the same exception as the guttural nasal in 6.3. The L is a dental and as such is often interchangeable with D and N. 32 and 4 CF also 6.3. In Batak, it cannot occur in a word having an R. Ops 7. The blunt consonants can be regarded as being a transition to the flute. The more so because they are so weak that even where the flute convention does not demand it, they drop out of the homorganic nasal, the Rika 1 and CF 39. Whereas closer they will occur, their place is taken by an H consonant or occasionally by a homorganic nasal 36 ops 1. Ops 8. The N is written as closer before J instead of a N in M and D, also before Ch. Then it naturally becomes homorganic with the consonant and thus sounds like new, which is indivisible sound. The Y of the transliteration is not audible. The Y, either as a beginner or between two vowels, cannot be pronounced, appears from its name Nia instead of Nya in diary. This letter is not even in the alphabet, CF Mandailing F3. Ops 9. The S, though an H consonant can, like the L and R, be regarded as a continuous because, like these consonants, it does not closer completely because the breast stem, like the H solid consonants K, T, consonants K, T, and P, do for Ch, self, serve, C, Ops 10. Has the reason for its serving equally with the L and the R, 27.1. Note the susurrus of the S as a glossaries. Consequently, the reason that words which in other language and in R, L, and or S in Makasaris have an after sound which consists of the same vowel as is found in the preceding syllable and is followed by a swallowed ka. While the accent in the word so lengthened in on is on the antepenultimate syllable, e.g. lunasak, lunas malay, sanggarak, sanggarti, kapalak, kapaldi. In Makasaris, words as a rule have their accent on the penultimate syllable, and the fact that in this case the accent is on the antepenultimate is proof that such a last syllable is only an after sound which, as a non-essential syllable that does not belong to the stem word, gives way before a suffix. The modifying a not being a suffix, although it is written in the same way, does not displace the accent, as the reason that the after sound remains, e.g. kulipasaka, i.e. kulipasak in a. The hurupuk as well as huruk is found in Makasaris does not invalidate the rule just stated, because in this word the after sound is used to imitate the susurrus of the aspirated F of the original Arabic word, i.e. huruf. In Makasaris, the nasals as closures of a word are represented by without an after sound, from which fact it is apparent that they have less susurrus than R, L, and S. It is for this reason that they are sometimes put in the category of explosives. They would then be in the group with the solid consonants, but the term resonant is more appropriate. 33e. That in Batak they are fluid in its evident form, among other places 33e, Ops, and Dari F. Obsted. Though at present the Ch, Mandarin A, J, 2, and Ny, Ops 8 are divisible consonants, it must be assumed that originally they were compounds. See for example 35e. Hence the reason that Ch, even though it is an H consonant, it is never closer, while Ny cannot, as a closer of word, be pronounced. Fusion of vowels. Two identical vowels occurring together, either because of derivation or by the conjunction of two words, because one without as a consequence being lengthened, CD. When the vowel is then contracted in this manner occurs in the last syllables, then the syllable is accented, e.g. huutahon, hutahon, parop-arop, parop-arop, horbon, horbon, paghalan, paghalan, maridi, maridi. The pronominal suffixes bu and hu and words like anghora and bayo lose the end vowel before an adjectival pronoun. In spelling, it is used to omit this vowel, e.g. hujungwon, hujungwon, hujungwon. This young lands. This also applies to the exclamatory word indi, e.g. indon, indon, indion. Look at this: indadu, indadu, in the adu, look at that in Bayo and Anghora, the end vowel can be dropped in writing iji, bayi, as well as bayoi, bayi. In some places, the word pahayon are pronounced pahayon, 19.2, and pahayan and pahayan, 19.2. The end vowels of interjections are dropped igi baamang, baamang, aleda, aleda. Ale often loses its first syllable after na when it means catch it, igi nale instead of naale. When the preposition d occurs before the pronoun e, in order to form an adverb, an s must be inserted, igi dc, dc. Because, as stated earlier, the contractive vowel is not lengthened into e. Without the insertion of s, d plus e would only give d and will not be distinguishable from the preposition d, cf. Mandarin a. When the prefix e occurs after mark, a t is inserted before the stem word ijur, i.e. marsiti for mar si ijur, cf. Diary e for c. Ops. In the word boti, it has been fused with the final vowel of the preceding word. But was that final vowel? Can the word bota, meaning like, be presumed here? Similarly, bata pemal, only the apa can be identified. Bata is not now in Minangkabau, bak apa, being used instead bak like, bak itu like that, bak ika like this. Word boundary. When the meaning admits of it, the closer of a preceding word forms a syllable with the first syllable of the word following. When the syllable begins with the vowel igi, ihot, 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 ihot. Where the o of ho in the second syllable is according to 6-2, an open sound. The pronouns of ha. The ha as a closer is pronounced as vigorous ka, igi dok, dak. It acquires its usual value by means of 9, igi utohutok, halaki. When double in writing, it is always double k, igi rajoki. K as a beginner of a syllable occurs in only two words, kuyuk and beka, neither of which can be rendered in writing. Kuyuk is only used as an exclamation, comes perhaps from another language, and beka is without a doubt from some sub-Mandarin dialect, the more so as beta is frequently used. In borrowed words, a k between two vowels is pronounced as a double k, e.g. rajoki from ramen, rajoki, mal, rejeki. The ha as a beginner of a word or between two vowels represents the ka used in other dialects and languages. Tu igi, tuhor, tokor, diary, si diary be, and dictionary. The ha often drops out after e, igi, mahiandu, mahihandu, siyala, si hala. In the case of diha and diya, siyol and sihol, both forms are in use but with a difference in meaning, see dictionary. After a, it drops out only in ahu, laho, and bahen, which drops can also be spelled out lao and bahen. After a, it drops out only in lehon, which can also be spelled leon. After u, it drops out in hua from huha. As the beginning of a word, it seldom drops out. But an example is aha, aka, ang hadangan from akadangan so hadang-hadangan 22 and 24a and CF Manding BD. Ops. In Tiop, the high has disappeared and can only be shown to have existed from diary world checkup. See diary D3. It is striking that in diary, although it is a K between two vowels, the K in culture has got lost. It will thus appear that this word has been borrowed from Te Hasior. The K, which as said in A is Ha in Te, was originally in Kecak, can be seen from the Sundanese Cikur and the Malay Cakur, CF the D3A. The nasals as closest before an H consonant. Before an H consonant, a nasal as closest is pronounced as a homogenic solid H consonant, e.g. harapta, tiat saba, patis, lansat, maksi. A closer and when followed by P becomes a P, e.g. tian per seribu, tiap per seribu, pun, dibayan pogosna. Ops, dupe seldom occurs instead of dungpe. A nasal as closer of a monosyllabic word occasionally becomes homogenic with a consonant even when it is blood and a non-identical nasal, e.g. dan bulan, hin hian, CF22 for A. Nan tulang occurs as well as nang tulang, nan tua as well as nang tua. Thus ninna is from ningna nimmu, from ningmu ninta, from ningmu ninta from ningta, while nungma not only becomes numma, but even nunga. In words consisting of syllables having the same closure and beginner, M and N become homogenic with G, e.g. gom instead of gom, e.g. gom instead of gom, gongon instead of gongon. In other cases too, the N as closer before a beginner can become M, e.g. Haim Batak as well as Haid Batak, Bomban as well as Bonban. Note, in Dias and Moko Menangkabau, it is also a rule from a closing nasal to be omitted before an H consonant. Traces of this are found everywhere in the sister languages, e.g. Takis Sunda Tangkis Mal, Opan Sunda Ompan Mal, Lasat Dayak Langsat Mal, Jakit Dayak Jangkit Mal, etc. The nasal as closer before ha. A nasal as closer with an ha as beginner becomes a double solid H homogenic consonant, e.g. titit hudampu, hadappu, horung, lakat. As closer of a word of more than two syllables and can become a consonant homogenic with the beginning ha of a suffix, e.g. napuraku occurs as well as napuratu, napuranhu. But titikku is seldom heard instead of tititu. A closer and become a consonant homogenic with the ha of the word following, e.g. tianhuta, tiakuta, dibaiko. The suffix honoton is pronounced honoton, but according to me, it is also pronounced honokon. The M must become a consonant homogenic with ha as beginner of a word when the first syllable of that word is open and the second begins with p, e.g. onomhupang, onokupang. This can also occur when the first syllable of the word following is closed, hence onokorbo as well as onoporbo, onomhorbo occurs, but according to the rule of 12, onopalak, onomhalak. Ops. DP. DP is pronounceable by some of the Lake Tao tribes of East Toba, and they pronounce it as a K, igi, kiso, piso, hekeng, hepeng. A few traces are to be found in writing igi, indak kudo, indak podo, indang podo. 11. Rakon instead of rapon, rabhon. 14. CF Mandeling CI. WS. When by means of derivation and the conjunction of two words, two S come together, the S become TS, ege lat sowada, ulot sende, tortongosa, tartongosa suffix, tartongosa. The H consonants as closer before ha. Every H consonant as closer with and her following is doubled, ege anahu, pathu, tarupu, soloton, ulotsu, hutsus, hutopotami. In consecutive syllables that are close with the same consonant and which at the same time begin with ha, the closer before the ha of the second syllable changes to ha, making ha. 10. Example: hop, hokop, ham, hakam. The only exception is S, si husus. 14. But in Subtoba, which lends towards diary, the S even becomes ka, ege hukus hutsus. When the T is a closer, the general rule of voting applies as well as the deviation of it, hence hutut as well as hukut, hut. In halikoton, hot is more often pronounced hokot than hotot. With regard to hakam, which is a present written hungham, 12 as appears from the diary hukumkam. It must have acquired its double K in the same way. Ops, DTS, which as has been sound arose from an S, 11, SS 13, and SH 14. Is the sound that the Toba sound that the Toba speaking people hear in the che between two vowels, hence hatsakasang. According to 11, spelled hasang from kacang, man, small salt. T usually becomes T, ege pastima from paschima, Sanskrit. CF Diary 30. CF Diary Day 3. As the beginner of a word, or between two vowels, Ch. In other dialects and languages represented by S, ege rasun, rachun, sina, china, de. A closer N become L, R, and M. The N as closer is assimilated to a beginner L, R on M, ege salapis, nan gobag, tian ruma, ron, mon, tinaruanmu, lan, tuan lain. Note, hence, naretse the fake one, instead of naretse from menmal nanrenche. R as closer of a prefix. An R as closer of a prefix becomes an L before a beginning L, ege palaja, malange, but togluk. Here, tog is not a prefix. Besides porla, the pronunciation polak also occurs, though pog is not in this case a prefix. Moleng would similarly appear to have come from morleng. From a comparison with M and D, It appears that in reciprocal verbs the closing R of the prefix more has dropped out before C, eg, masih bodilan to shout at each other, magsibedilan, de magsibedilan, mandaling, magsibodilan. In the Nai post dialect in land of Sukham, after prefix with R, eg, more pabue is usually instead of parbue, eg, mar parbue. Elsewhere, Magparbue. Note: in Malay, R of the prefix drops out when the syllable immediately following has R is closer. Egi bakaraja, bar karja, baparsambahkan, bar, etc. The word begins with R or L. When the word begins with a vowel and ends in R, the closer of the prefix is L. Egi balajar, bar ajar. Talanjur, man, from Taranjur Telantar, but Mar from Tarhantar. In other cases, the prefix retains the air has berteburan, but according to one, berterbangan, therefore balantara does not come from bar and antara. 24, not 1. The semi-vowels. The semi-vowels are not pronounced in Toba. Sub-Toba sometimes follow Toba in its use of semi-vowels and sometimes therein mandaling, depending upon the extent to which it tends towards of the one or the other. Attention will not therefore always be drawn to it in the following remarks. The best of showing the way in which Toba avoid the use of the semi-vowels will be to compare all the dialects. In no dialect can the semi-vowels be closers or beginners, while in other languages words do begin with one of them Batakes. The related vowel e and u before such words eg, uange, wangi, Java. Yaman, a proper name from Arabic Malay Yaman. Ualu, Wolu, Java, Ualu, Wolu, Jav. Ualu, kami. B instead of we, and as in Malay, J instead of J, Ege, Bange, as well as Uange, Si A. Bogna from the Javanese Wegna 23B for not B. Java from Jawa Sanskrit. From Jawa Sanskrit. Obs the use of A instead of E in Ayuga sans Yuga, and similarly Ayoka in Makasaris is in accordance with 8 note 2. The way Dairi or Dairi Subtoba is the only dialect that permits between two vowels a way that is not preceded by O or U. In the other dialects, the way becomes a B or it disappears so that the two identical vowels between which it stood become one. And the word is shorter by one syllable, or it is replaced by O so that the word becomes longer than by one syllable. No rule can be given regarding when or in which dialects the one or the other occurs. This will be seen from the samples below. 3. Emphasis O in a closed syllable in place of wa, eg, maos, mawas, dairi. When O occurs as an N, sound, whereas when wa occurs, then the word has been taken directly from man. See below the note. Eg, Java, as in Dimbaco Jao, Javanese tobacco is the main pronunciation of Jawa. Similarly, Sandau is in Sira Sandau, Salpeter, and Rao is name of the territory to the south of Lesser Mandailing. Obs, in the following samples, the dairy form has been given first because it is considered in the dictionary as the form by which form in other dialects are explainable. When the word does not occur in diary, a cause has been had to a sister language, Jav, Mal, etc. Way between two us. Kawan de, haban de, haun em. Tawag de, tawag de, tabak de, tawag em. Tawas mal, tawas em. Alum, tabas de, ente. An incantation muttered when using an antidote against sickness. Spices are supposed to drive away ghosts, which are the creators of illness. See against Salim Batuk. It therefore appears that the diary tabas have been taken from te. Jawa, Mal and Jav in Jawa wood. From Jawa a word Sans Jawa. Jabate, Jate in Japadang. Mawas M. Dawan te and Dan te and not M. Daban te, Dahan South M instead of Daan Simandig A. Lawarak Makasaris Rabar Toba. Rawan Malindairi in Rawanen Raban Toba. Rawang de in Tertawa ta in Tata Toba and Mantata Mandaling. Rawa Malay. Ra not Mandaling name of a territory Sira above 3A. Chawan dairy from Mal from Chinese Sawan teacup. Saban 14 non Sawan te. Jawa in Ulam Jawa dairy Ja Toba in Baluang Ja. Selawal dairy C24 men Sarawak Toba Sarawak M Bawang D CF22 2 not. Awak dairy Ak and Awak Toba. Dawat dairy Da Mandaling and Toba in Dada. Lawang dairy and Mal in Malay bunga lawang labang te and de. From this it's apparent that dairy labang and nil has been taken from Toba. Tulawa dairy Talawa and Talaba Toba Talaik and later on Tala 19. In the proper name there to Tala di Baungi P28 at the bottom in the notes Batak reading book. Kawag dairy Har Toba in Har. Bulawan dairy Bulan Toba C8. Jawat te Jat not Mandaling. Jawat sort Mandaling. Gawak in Gagawak Gak. Sawa in Ulok Sawa. A kind of a snake that the size the size of a boa constrictor Sawa Malay Saba. Tawan Malay Taban are also the CF 30 10 Ops 1. Ops in Toba Wa as the end sound has become U in Jaw from Java Nias Dawa. See below 4 note. This old form of Jaw must be distinguished from Jaw. See above 3A. Not see above 3A. Not in men where as end sound is represented by O close sound O. Again, Jao, Gio, Bao, other forms of Java, Jiwa, Bawa, etc. The Makasaris of Salayer prefers hard to weigh between vowel CF30X to CF3010. Igi, Raha, Rawa, Makasaris. Jaha, Jawa, Pinahang, Pinawang, Makasaris. Lohe, Makasaris. Uwi, Makasaris. In Japanese, Subangi, Makasaris. Instead of Subangi from Bangi, Java, Wengi, Naik, the Sulangi, the Suwangi, which in the Malay of the Moluccas means haunted, means originally nightly Uk, Makasaris C22 22. Sundanese Pavox J instead of we, especially between two as ege, lancha, lawa, mal, sancha, a kind of steak, sawa, 6 simple 24. Raganchak occurs as well as lalawak, kencha, kiwa, Javanese appears to be a case apart. Therefore, Kancha, Dairy, and Malay Kawah Java. This comes from West Java. CF31 6 North. CF also Rancang and Krancang Latis with Java and Mal Kerawang. We after I becomes as a rule ege lawi dairi lai toba in lai lai sawi dairi sai toba kawi dairi rai toba awin dairi ain toba CF Abin Kawil Bisaya and Lampong Kail dairi hail toba Kawit Bisaya hawitra hua hai toba kait malay we seldom became examples are Batau or Matau 38 from Malay Batawi Batavia how Toba alongside height CF 46 Sound Sunda Sound Toba 29 4 Sawing Tagalog CF down Malay with Rawina Hua etc. Ops. The Mentawai has become T in Toba Natawe in Subtoba Natawe 33, which is the name of a very powerful kind of poison. Mantawe is the Mentawai name from the people of Mentawai Islands who are skilled in the use of the blowpipe and who specialize in making the poison arouse for it. Dewata, Sanskrit Java, Juwata, has become Debata so that they retook the form from Toba. Ops 2, the way after all seldom changes into B, but the sample is Boban alongside Boan. Note, the following are examples of Uwa in some dialects, where others have our lawas meant. Luas mal, Sarawal men, Sarawal Arab Malay, Salawa Sunda, Suwala Malay, Langka was Bisaya, Langka was Malay. Example of our are Pawas Malay Wali, Well, Paus Mentawai. Manawangi from now, Malay CF above 3 ops, etc. This probably the civilization of Bauhun dog, literally lost object, see the relief from an earlier Bau 31 4. Bawah Malay CF sa bawah swine at Andapan Java swine from Andap low. DJ before ya as well as O in Subtoba and Mandarin become A in Toba Ege. E.g. Bayangan M, Beom Boyom Maem, Peop Poyop Subtoba, Leang Layang Mandaling and Loyang Darian Mandaling, Beugan Boyuhan Malay Mandaling, Eo Oyo Mandaling. Ops, they are also usual in Subtoba, has perhaps had an earlier variant Dayak 28 to Sydney Subtoba also said, as appears from Said men, must have had a variant Sayat 17 and not 1. Similarly, Dayani is also usual in Subtoba CF 6 4th example and 13. And B DA which thus comes in the antepenultimate syllable is pronounced with a kind of catch, as though the syllable were a separate word. Beuhan becomes Beuhan, the S sharp or close from the reason C22 3D. It is singular that dairy must use a J, C dairy C1. Also have A in words which in Subtoba and Mandarin have a J between two S, except sometimes the syllable has a as beginner 7 of 6. Ige Layang Layang M Mandaling Bayangan Bading Subtoba etc. And on the other hand, there are Raya and Rayam in the proper name Siburu Rayam, Raya and Raya as well as Raya. In Toba, I is less often to be found, but as well Aya is used. This word is sometimes followed by Subtoba and North Mandailing examples are Tuan Lion, South Mandeling, Tuan Lion. For 15. Tuan Lion, North Mandeling, Gulayan Mandeling, or Men Gulayan in Gulayan, all kinds of side dishes. Lalayan for Mandeling, Lalayan in Mentawai, Lalayan, Si Mandeling G North. So that the earlier form perhaps means always confused. Gobayan South Mandeling, Gobayan Subtoba North Mandeling, according to the rule in 5 Toba, also has Gobayan, Sang Binay as well as Sang Binay Toba. Pakaian as well as pakaian Mandeling, kedai, 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 si dari B and C. Hadaya Toba and Hadaya Subtoba is trekking. CF layers occurring alongside layers. The following are examples of I occurring in Toba where Ayok occurs in Subtoba and Mandeling or Mandeling. What Ayok Toba and Subtoba, Ayok Subtoba, CF Ayok Mentawai Ayar Malay below North 1. Sayap Toba and Subtoba, Sayop Malay, Sayop Mandeling, Sayom Toba and Subtoba, Sayom Mandeling. Aya instead of an original I is found in Pahaya, Pahaye, Bayan Mandeling from Bayan as the pronunciation of Bayan stand B. So when an U stands on both sides of Aye, Toba has an E instead of the first U, ege siup, suyup, tiung, tuyung. This is the reason for the alternative of EU or EU or UU. Hence, Subtoba has made Masuyu out of Mentawi Masiyu or Mansiyu, which in Toba must be Masiyu, Tuyung. Has perhaps comes from Tiung, also in Lampung, in the same manner. In Toba, ye after A before U or O falls out eg, how hayu, bao bayo, sau sayu. These words are, however, also common in Subtoba with Toba pronunciation, the first in Hau Tanggung, the second in proper names such as Bao Pais, and the third in Sau Matua, etc. The ye seldom changes to E, but the sample is Payogon. After A, U is changed into E, on in Bayon is Toba, or Bayuon when the word means leaves in general that are used for weaving or for the making of mats, whereas according to the rule, Bayuon must be used in Toba, Subtoba, Bayuon when it is the verbal substantive, the thing to be woven from Bayu, to weave something. After U before an A, the ye drops out or is changed into E, Igesua as well as Suya, in Hapuksuya, Lapuang, as well as Lapuyang, 11 from Lampuyang Malay. Not one Mentawai has an I pronounced as two syllables, where Malay often has Aya, Ege Layar, Bayar, Ayar. Malay also sometimes has Aya, where there should be an I, ege Mayat, Mait, Mentawai dissyllabic. From the Arab made monosyllabic CF Kayal, Java, with Kail Malay, Maya Main, Mal 33 C. No 2. A separate of E in one language, I in others one. And in others are Biawak Malay, Bayawak Tagalog, Ayun Malay, Iyun Java, Ayuga instead of Iyuga, 17, 1 17, 1 ops, Laya Iloko, Halia Malay, etc. The accent falls either on the ultimate or the penultimate syllable, igi, dao, boltok, debata, siborang. The vowel of an accented syllable is distinct and should not become washed out, such as in the pronunciation of testament as testament, or sinkel as sinkel. The unaccented penultimate syllable is the lightest. In debata, it is ba. In dao, it is da. This syllable on which the accent both in the heaviest in the examples given ta and o, and in Batak bol, the syllable following a heavy one or preceding the lightest is the like, which might be called heaviest. In Debata, the syllable is de, and in Batak tok, while in Siburan, the syllable preceding the heavy penultimate C might be called lighter. Ops in diary C, diary K, ops there's also lighter penultimate syllable. Words of more than 3 syllables are practically pronounced as 2 words. They are divided into 2 parts, of which when the number of syllables is uneven, the last has 3 syllables. The full accent is there only on last part ige gabi bolon dalam banua tumarade Papua Honokon, from which it can be seen that the half accent indicated in the first part by apostrophe is there on the same syllable as the full accent in the second. Note the division into 2 words usually takes place in those languages in which the R is pronounced as A or O, as for example man, where one finds Chinabuta as if it meant the blind Chinaman from Chinabuta 22:4b1, the place of an accent. The syllable on which the accent must fall will not be established at this point because the place of the accent occupies not only depends upon the class to which the word belongs, but also on the function the word performs in the sentence. For the time being, the following will suffice. The substantives, as a rule, have the heavy accent on the penultimate syllable, e.g. biang, dog, boltok, stomach. Exceptions are borrowed words or those in which the ultimate syllable contains a contractive vowel. See 17:3, now 21. For an example, Debata sans Dewata, Sutora sans Sutra, Masutara, Sukora sans Sukra, Jav Sukra for the O here, see 7 of 6, Iyaman 17:1. Usuman Pobanem for Mentawi or Malay Usaman, Arab Uthman. I don't know how Nagumo came by this asset. Ops, substantives of which the ultimate syllable is heavy have a habit of moving this asset back to the penultimate, e.g. Tala C 17:3, number 19. For Tala, Dibata, Mandailing instead of Debata. In Buluman, proper name Seaman Dictionary Aloling, name of a village in Silang the second elements are unclear, are pronounced as compound words, i.e. in Buluman, Aloling, Silang de. So is Hayubang, which is composed of Hayu Bang from Bawang. All monosyllabic pronouns, functioning as adjectives, carry the main accent, so that the word preceding them has a half accent, e.g. halak on these people. This is the reason for the absorbing the end vowel of some words, e.g. When a monosyllabic preposition precedes a monosyllabic pronoun in order to form an adverb, the word becomes dissyllabic and the last syllable is heavy one, e.g. there. When the preposition is polysyllabic, it carries the half accent, e.g. tia non, learn this 9. The ultimate syllable is heavy in the interjection ale and also in words used in address, e.g. Alera Janami or our prince. This also applies to any words so used, e.g. Aleyamang pangalaos, aleyamak pangalaos. A. The interjection oi which is placed after the vocative in address is accepted, e.g. Boti may opung raja imbuluman oi. Boti may opung raja imbuluman oi. This was the state of affairs Lord Prince Imbuluman. 20. The accent is derived words and words having a suffix. When a stem word is preceded by a prefix, The stem word carries the accent e.g. mandok and sandok, stem word dog, magdobus stem word bus, magdogo stem word word, padodot stem word dot, under which it should have been entered in the dictionary. Dada duplicated sipet and sihak, prefix sipet and hak. Because of the suffix, the accent moves forward the syllable onto the penultimate, even when the word does not become longer. E.g. hundulan, hundulan, hujugmu, hujugmu, anggim, anggim, pabuaon, pabuahon. As suffixes expressing an access, who and tu carry the accent, e.g. magajaktu, magajaktu, or magajakhu, magajakku, it is too long. This also applies to an when it expresses an increase of degree and at the same time suffixed the word functioning as a predicate, e.g. denganan, it is more beautiful. The same thing happens with words having the same form and which mean rather, such as rahanan, tagonan, and tagonan arongan, mandaling, etc. P, do, ngo, deri, ma, mo, deri, ne, and be are not suffixes, hence lao, ma, be gone. Aupe, I, to, etc. Pe and do, or do and ma, following immediately on each other, are pronounced as one word, with the ultimate syllable heavy, e.g. podo, pedo, C28, 1a. Dope, mandaling, doma, mandaling. When podo or its variant pede is preceded by na, the ultimate syllable still carries the accent, again na podo from nanon C32, 1. Ops 1. Rules to which accentuation conforms cannot yet be given here. In many words, the placing of the accent is arbitrary, e.g. when sogot means sometime or other, i.e. in the future, it is pronounced sogot. When it means early in the morning, it is pronounced sogot. That this variation cannot be explained from the meaning of the word is apparent from Buse, mandaling sogot. The nominal form of paulahon, i.e. paula, which is used as an imperative and occurs in the passive, is pronounced paula. When it means act as to be tend, but paula it means put to work. Here again, the meaning is not the reason for the difference in the placing of the accent, because in mandaling there is mambain to act as though, to pretend, from mambain to do. From this, it's apparent that paula must be derived from gula, mangula, to act. Ops. In Batak, it's only possible to accent a syllable within a word. What accent, wherever accent is placed on one word within a sentence, is a noun. In the dictionary, intensity. Ops 2. In Batak, it is only possible to accent a syllable within a word. What accent, wherever accent is placed on one word within a sentence, is a noun. Ops 3. The vowel of the penultimate syllable is occasionally lengthened in order to intensify the meaning, and then an U and an E become an O and an A, and an E or an U in the syllable following undergo the same modification, e.g. adowe, yonder, very, very far away, from adui, yonder. The bindu. Punctuation signs are not customary. The only sign that can be regarded as such is a small half circle facing left, which is placed after the letter, cycling it, as it were. The sign, which can be called a divider, has the same name as the devoweler pangolat tree. It is used when the position of certain words would perhaps cause the reader difficulty in reading the sentence correctly. For example, ima asa dipokit nanon roho manopotau. Ima asa dipokit nanon roho manopotau. That is the reason that his feet are pinched. Now you come and visit me. Where the divider not used here, nanon would be regarded as determined the being pinch. I have not seen this sign other than on bamboo. It seems to be a recent innovation. In the reading book I have made some. I have made more use of it than is usual by the Batak themselves, who are rather careless in this respect. Signs that are, however, in general used are the bindu sans windu dot, of which there are two kinds. The first, which indicates the beginning of a text, is called bindu godang main bindu, for the form see reading book 1 part 1, and the second, which is placed at the beginning a new paragraph or the beginning of stanzas, is called bindu nametek little bindu, for the form see reading book 1 p4 bottom. In the letters written on bamboo, the bindu bintang joma bindu having the shape of a human being is used instead of the bindu godang. The bindu penak joma has a long tail which goes the whole length of the bamboo internot. For example, surat tinongos ni Guru Sombaon. This is a letter from Guru S. This bindu is also known under other names, igi bindu pinagulok, bindu having the form of a snake. It rather depends upon what image one thinks one can see in such a badly drawn sign. The bindu nametek, in accordance with its form, is called bindu pinagboras. The bindu have the form of a fruit. The bindu also frequently has a tail, the whole length of a leaf, as a means of separating one part of the text from another. In some pustaha, the sign is used instead of the bindu nametek, though the Batak known to me do not use it, but in contrast to the bindu nametek, it is also placed after the title and just before the actual text starts, it being usual to write the title of a work on the same line as the text begins. I have made use of this sign in the reading book in the appropriate place. See RB 1P1.